Hello. Good morning everyone. I hope you have watched the previous sessions. Today we are going to do something different. I hope this will be a session which most of you enjoy. If you would have followed me in past 4 or 5 sessions, we have discussed on very niche topics. Niche topics are those which are not frequently told in the class, but we have seen traces of them in CSAT papers. Okay, and we have done niche topics in percentage. First we have done cryptarithmetic. Next, based on election problems, we have done. Next we have done matrix based, so on and so forth. So what we are going to do is, because we already have a background of percentages, today we are going to deal with application of percentages, which is profit and loss. Okay. The reason for picking up profit and loss is, I see that many of the students think in silos. What do I mean by that? They see percentage as a different concept and mostly profit and loss as a different concept. But if you see at the core, you take any profit and loss problem, what does it contain? One, probably it will contain CP, SP, profit percentage, loss percentage, or markup percentage, or marked up price, or profit or loss. Let us just analyze these terms. Value, SP is a value, market price is a value, profit and loss is a value. Nothing significant here. Now, what is this? What is profit or loss percentage? It is nothing but percentages only. There is nothing that you learn in profit and loss which is not there in percentages. So whatever we have applied in percentages, for example, instead of the conventional sense that most people do profit and loss is through those formulas, profit percentage is equals to profit by CP into 100. We will see this when we get there. Okay. Most do it by formulaic approach. We will see, I have prepared some good enough problems. We will see that when you approach profit and loss through formulas, how difficult it becomes, rather than thinking them as an extension of percentages. You see, we are building on the bricks that we have already developed. First, we are good enough with percentages because we have done to death all the percentage concepts that are there. We have seen successive percentage, we have seen successive percentage. Next, ratio way of solving problems, multiplication factor way of solving percentage problems. Rather than reinventing the wheel, if we use our expertise in percentage in profit and loss itself, you will see how easy each profit and loss problem becomes. Okay. Just like how every session is structured. Okay. This session also follows the same way. First, we will see few or the theoretical background behind profit and loss, and then today, because I need students to think in a different way, rather than solving niche problems. Like there are different topics, like even in profit and loss, problems based on ratios, problems based on free concept, problems based on dishonest seller. We'll get into those niche topics later, because percentages everybody deals it the same way, but the thinking that is required to solve a profit and loss, I don't find in many of those students. So this session will just give it for approach to profit and loss problems. Okay. Because everybody is habituated in dealing with profit and loss as formulaic way. I want you to bring a mental shift in, or a shift in the mental model of students when they try to solve profit and loss problems. So we will, although the problems might not seem difficult, I know many of you will get answers, but what I want is change in an approach. Okay, we should all together disregard the formulaic way of approaching profit and loss, and you will see I will give you enough examples to see why seeing profit and loss as an extension of percentage will give you or keep you in a good stead. Okay, so let's first start with the first of the session with the basics of profit and loss, and then we'll see as we solve problems why seeing profit and loss and an extension of percentages is a much better way than the formulaic way. I hope you enjoy the session. Let's buckle up. So what are the terms in profit and loss that we see? We see first cost price. Cost price is something, okay, something that costs someone, or if you buy an article, whatever is your expense in buying it, okay, whatever is your expense in buying it, that appears as an cost price. Now there will be a bit complications in cost prices many a times, if the examiner wants to twist, okay, many a time what will he do? Instead of giving the cost price directly, okay, he will divide it into two parts. One is the price at which you buy, and he will also add some maintenance. Okay, so cost price is all the cost that you are bearing. Okay, it is not just at what price you bought. Always the cost price is the cost that you bear. Okay. Be clear about this. Okay. Now next one is selling price. Selling price is the price at which you sell. Okay. The price at which you sell. Thankfully for us, it is one dimensional. Okay. Next comes profit, loss. Where does profit come from? What are the basics? Basics are cost price and selling price. So your profit is nothing but if you sell it, okay, if you sell it higher price than you buy, it is profit for you. So selling price minus cost price is profit, but if you sell at a lower price than you buy, it is a loss for you. Okay, CP minus SP. Now four basic terms: cost price, selling price, profit and loss. Now why do we need cost price, selling price, profit and loss? Okay, this is in amounts. Okay, now why do you need a profit percentage? Because most of the time we don't think in at a fundamental sense. Why do we need it? Because we have already a variable accounting for profit or loss. Why do we need a percentage? It is like this. For example, I have two cases, case A and case B. I have a profit of 50 rupees on this, 50 rupees on selling A and 100 rupees on selling B. 50 rupees on selling A, 100 rupees on selling B. Is this clear? Now can you tell me selling which product is more beneficial to me? Selling which product is more beneficial to me? Most of you will say B. Why? Because I am getting 100 rupees as a profit. But is this the complete picture? No. What if, consider my new information, what if the cost price of this is 100 rupees and the cost price of this is 500 rupees. The cost price of article B is 500 rupees, cost price of article A is 100 rupees. Now, will your answer change? Yes, definitely. Why? Now, most of you will prefer A. Why A? You see, for 500, for a cost of 500, you are getting only 100 rupees profit. For a cost of 500, you are getting only 100 rupees profit. But for the same 500, if you sell article A, how much you will get? You are going to get 250 rupees as a profit. So selling which article is better for us? It is definitely A. Now you see, have you observed the change in answer? Okay, because, so why do we need this? I think this answers, we should make clear to you why we need profit percentage, because most of the time profit in itself doesn't provide you the full information or the full field of view. Okay. Profit combined with or in consonance with cost price gives you the whole picture. So thereby we need something as profit percentage or loss percentage. Okay. So what is profit percentage? Profit percentage is profit by cost price into 100%. In the same way, loss percentage is loss by cost price into 100%. Okay. And if you extend this, we have already seen what is profit. Profit is selling price minus cost price by cost price into 100%. And loss is cost price minus selling price by cost price into 100%. Okay. This is the basic way to solve any profit and loss problem, which is the formulaic way. But since we are just introducing in wading into the topic just now, okay, this is the only time that I prefer to teach you the formulaic way of doing profit and loss. In each and every problem we see, we will never deal with these formulas, and I will give you the examples why dealing with formulas, especially in profit and loss, is such a hectic way. Okay, so but our way is, because profit percentage is a percentage only, percentage being applied to money is nothing but profit and loss. So can I see this as an extension of percentage? That means I can use whatever I used in percentages. What have I used in percentages? I have used ratio method for solving. I have used multiplication factor for solving. I have used successive percentages for solving percentages. So I could build upon my already developed basics of percentages to solve profit and loss. Okay. So now, if I am saying these ways are better, I should prove to you why these ways are better, right? Okay. So now we'll start with basic problems where it is just a relationship between, for example, what is the basic type of function, type of problems that you can conjure? I know CP. What are the basic items you have? I have SP. I have profit or loss percentage. I can derive a category of problems just from this. How can I? I have three terms. I'll give you two terms. And I'll ask for you the third term. For example, cost price is 500. Profit percentage is 10%. Profit percentage is 10%. What is the SP? 10% of 500. 10% of 500 is 50. and we know that SP is equals to cost price plus profit. So 500 plus 50 is equals to 550. Okay. This is one way. Next, this basic itself, you know what is 10%? What is the profit of 10%? Profit of 10%. Pay attention here. Okay. Instead of what most of us do is we see percentage as just a number. We don't associate what is the real information that it is trying to convey. What is this profit telling? Okay. Let me represent this visually. That there is some block of or some amount called cost price. Some amount called cost price. Your profit tells you how much part of the cost price, are you gaining? How much part of the cost price are you gaining? That means whenever you see a profit, what are you seeing? You are not seeing any dissociated quantity, you are seeing part of cost price only. So using this, I know my profit is 10%. My profit is 10%. So what is 10%? It is 1 out of 10. That means if I have 10 units, I am gaining 1 unit. Profit is gain, right? That means how much I have? I have 11 rupees now. Okay. If this 10 units is 500, what is my 11 units? It is 550. You see how simple this is? Just by thinking in terms of fundamentals, what is a profit? A profit is nothing but a part of cost price only. A part of cost price that I am gaining. So cost price plus gain gives you this. Okay. Now so this is nothing but ratio approach. What have I done? Percentage is 1 by 10. That means if I have 10 units, I am gaining 1 unit. So this becomes 11. Now the same way we can use a multiplication factor too. What is your multiplication factor? Multiplication factor is 1 plus of percentage. So 1 plus of, what is ratio of 10%? It is 1 by 10. So the multiplication factor is 11 by 10. Your CP is initial price, right? What is the first thing that comes? Initial value is CP only. And when you sell it, when it undergoes a process, it becomes SP. So your multiplication factor is nothing but the factor that is multiplied with CP. So your multiplication factor is 1.1 or 11 by 10. So 500 into 11 by 10 will give you 550. Okay. So this is the ratio approach and this is the multiplication factor approach. Okay. I hope you have gotten a basic sense or a taste of things to come. Okay. Now let us solve some problems. I am not going deep into profit and loss today, but there are many niche topics like ratio based problems, like markup, problems based on markup percentage, problems based on discount. We will see them in consecutive sessions, but today is all about an approach. Why solving it in an formulaic way is the worst way to do profit and loss. To tell you that always see profit and loss as an extension of percentage, that is the best way to do. Okay. So let us start slow. First, if cost price of an article, is 3/5 of its selling price, if cost price of an article is 3/5 of its selling price, then what is the profit percentage? 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 So I'll always, in today's session, any problem we do, we will compare it with form-like way and our way. Our way is either as an extension of percentages, extension. So if you want to do it this, the form-like way, he is asking percentage. Profit percentage is profit by CP into 100. Profit by CP into 100. So first we need to find CP. So since the relationship is given, assume any value. Assume any value. The common value that people assume is 100. If the cost price since SP is given, assume SP as 100. So CP becomes 3 by 5 into 100, 5 20s. So CP is 60. So SP is 100, CP is 60. So your profit percentage is profit by CP into 100. So 100 minus 60 by CP is 60 into 100%. So this becomes 40 by 60 into 100, 4 by 6 into 100, or 2 by 3. 2 by 3 is 66.66%. 66.66%. Now, do you need to do all this, assuming one value, substituting in the formula, finding out the calculation itself? Now, see this as an extension of percentages or ratio. CP is 3/5. CP is 3/5 of SP. CP is 3/5 of SP. What do we do in a ratio? If you would have seen ratio method or multiplication factor approach, in ratio approach, what we do, we always take an initial value, which will be CP, and this will be SP. So now you see CP and SP. CP is 3/5 of SP. So just write this here. This is 3/5 of CP. CP. Ratio approach, right? If I do 4 by 6, if they are in a ratio, that means I am able to cancel them. Yes? Yes. Now CP is common, cancel this. Now ratio is, this denominator will go here, right? So sorry, your CP is 3/5 of SP. Okay, so this is SP. So SP gets cancelled. So what will this become? This will become, this denominator will go here, 3:5. 3:5. So what is the change? You have bought for 3 rupees, you have sold for 5 rupees. So the profit is 2 and the cost price is 3. 2 by 3 is nothing but 66.66%. You see how simple this is. I had to explain because I am explaining for the first time, I have to explain here. Otherwise, this process is mental. You see 3, you see 5. This is CP, this is SP. Okay. So CP is 3/5 of SP. That means CP must be less. How much will be less? It will be 3 parts and this will be 5 parts. So what is the difference? 2 parts. 2 out of 3 is 66.66%. You see how easy this is, although this is not difficult, but we are just solving the basic problems. As the complexity keeps on increasing, it will become a lot difficult when you do it by the form-like way. Okay. Now let's see the next one. Now a bit tougher. A shopkeeper wrongly calculates his profit percent. A shopkeeper wrongly calculates his profit percent based on SP. based on SP. Normally what happens? What is your profit based on? Your profit is always based on how much it has cost you. So profit, the base for profit is always cost price, but this shopkeeper has made a mistake and he has calculated the profit based on SP, based on SP. So he has calculated his profit based on SP and he found it to be 10%, and he found it to be 10%. What is the actual profit percent? What is the actual profit percent? What is the actual profit percent? Because of a mistake, he being calculating on the base of SP, he got 10% as a profit, 10% as a profit. But what is the actual profit percent? What is the actual profit percent? Which is, what is the profit percent based upon CP? What is the profit percent based upon CP? And we'll follow the same process that we have been following in all our previous sessions. Pause the video whenever I give you a problem. Pause the video, solve the problem for yourself and compare your answer with me, and then update your knowledge. I hope most of you have tried. Okay. Now let us see. Same, the formula equate, the extension. So what is this 10%? What is this 10%? 10% he has calculated on profit by SP into 100%. Into 100%. So can I tell that profit by SP, the ratio is 1 by 10. Profit by SP, the ratio is 1 by 10. You see here, SP is 10, profit is 1. So what is actual profit percent? Profit percentage is profit by CP into 100%. Profit by CP into 100%. You see, SP is 10, your profit is 1, SP is 10 and the profit is 1. So what will be CP? CP is nothing but how do we define profit? Profit is equals to SP minus of CP. Now what were we given? We are given both SP and profit. So CP is equals to SP minus of profit. What is the SP here? The selling price is 10 rupees, the profit is 1 rupee. So the cost price is 9 rupees. So the actual profit percentage is profit by cost price. Cost price is 9 into 100%, which is nothing but 11.11%. 11.11%. So instead of doing all this, we know that if we use it an extension approach, what is 10%? 10% is 1 by 10, and always we have seen this n number of times in the previous sessions. Always your reference comes in the denominator. You see, how are we calculating profit? Profit by CP. Always your base variable or base value comes in the denominator. So whatever you write in the denominator is reference. Now profit percentage is 10%, which is 1 by 10, which is 1 by 10. Now what was the base here? Instead of taking instead of taking CP, he has taken SP. So SP is equals to 10. So your profit becomes 1. So your cost price is automatically SP minus profit, which is 9. So the profit percentage is 1 by 9 or 11.11%. Problems becomes much more simpler if you are able to see things at a fundamental level instead of the formula equate, things at a fundamental level. What is the reference? What is this information telling me? So this becomes an easy problem to solve. Now next one. Now a bit complication. Okay. So selling. This is problem 3. Selling an article at 140 rupees. Selling an article at 140 rupees. Selling an article at 140 rupees. Selling an article at 140 rupees results in an selling an article at 140 rupees results in a profit of 12%. Selling an article at 140 rupees results in a profit of 12%. What would be the profit percentage? What would be the profit percentage? What would be the profit percentage if the article is being sold at 160? If the article is being sold at 160, there is an item or article. Okay. When selling this at 140 rupees, you are getting a profit of 12%. You are getting a profit of 12%. What would be the profit if you are selling it at 160 rupees? Selling it at 160 rupees. Pause the video, solve for yourself, and when you have solved, unpause and check, compare your solution with mine and see whether there are upgrades in the way you deal with the problem. Okay. I hope pause the video, and I hope many of you have solved. Okay. Now let us see this in two ways. One, the formula equate. So what do? He has given us two SPs, he has given us two selling prices, but that means the cost price must be same, right? So first find out the cost price. So 12%. So 12% profit. Using the formulaic approach, 12% is equals to, what is this? SP minus CP by CP into 100%. Now 12% is equals to, do we know the SP? Yes, 140. Do we know the CP? No, by CP into 100%. This 100 comes here, it becomes 12 by 100. 12 by 100 is equals to 140 minus CP by CP. So if you cross multiply 12 by 100 is equals to 140 minus CP by CP. So 12 CP is equals to 140 into 100 minus of 100 CP, and this goes here. This becomes 112 CP is equals to 140 into 100 by, okay, this 112 comes here. So the cost price is 140 into 100 by 112. Okay, so I'm not going to go further because this is an inefficient way to solve the problem. From here you will find out CP, right? This is just a calculation, you will get CP. Now he has sold it, the second one at 160. So what is the profit percentage that time? Profit percentage is 160 minus whatever the value we get, minus CP1 by CP1 into 100%. Okay, you do this, you will get the answer. But you see, when somebody asks you for a nose, will you show it like this or will you show it this way? For finding out, you see how the problem is given. He has given us two SPs. Okay, instead of directly finding out the profit percentage from this information itself, what are we doing? We are going in a roundabout way, finding out the CP, that too using a formulaic approach, and then finding out the profit percentage. You see how complicated has the calculation become. You need to do two calculations, this and this. Okay, so I hope you have understood that always the formulaic approach is not an efficient way to solve profit and loss problems. Now let us see this as an extension of percentages. 140 rupees selling at 140 rupees, it is 12%. Selling at 140 rupees, it is 12%. Now if I am selling at 160 rupees, what is the profit percent? You see, what is this profit percent telling you? Profit is, remember the basics that we have talked about. Profit is a part of CP. Only. Okay. A part of CP plus part of CP. CP plus part of CP is 140. CP plus part of CP is 140. If it is 160, if this whole value is 160, how much part of CP are you taking? That is what he essentially asked. Okay, so these two are based on the same CP. Will you agree with me or not? Okay, these two are based on same CP. So why to go in a roundabout way finding out CP and finding the profit percentage? Because they have the same base. For example, in a ratio, what do you do? 4:6. Because these two have a same base of 2, I can easily cancel out the same base. In the same way, approach is this the same way. For 140 rupees, the profit is 12%. For 140 rupees, the profit is 12%. For 160 rupees, how much will be the profit? Because it is directly proportional. If you use the concept of proportion here, it becomes 160 by 140 into 12%. So this goes for 8 and this goes for 7. 12 8s are 96 by 7. So 7 ones 26. So some 13% change. Okay. So it was 12%. Now it is some 13%, 13 or 14%. Approximately 13 to 14%. You see how easy this is, rather than if you approach in the formulaic way. Always see profit and loss as an extension of percentage only. I hope you are able to understand why I am, even though it might sound repetitive, why I am focusing on the fact that always solve profit and loss as an extension of percentage only. Okay. Now let us see one more question. Next problem. This is all, today's session is all about your basics, how to get the basics right, how to approach the problem clearly. Okay. So let's solve the next one. Although they may seem, the answer to them may seem short, but it contains an important approach behind. Okay. I hope you observe and implement the approach in your dealings too. Okay. Now, question 4 or 5? Okay, 4. If selling price of an article, is increased by, rupees 96, if selling price of an article is increased by rupees 96, the profit percentage increases from 5% to 12.5%. The profit percentage increases from 5% to 12.5%. Now, what should be the selling price? What should be the selling price to gain a profit of 7.5%? What should be the selling price to gain a profit of 7.5%? I am repeating the question once more. Selling price is increased by 96 rupees. Because of this, because when you sell at higher price, you get more profit, right? The profit percentage has increased from 5% to 12.5%, 5% to 12.5%. Now he is asking, at what selling price should I sell? What selling price should I sell when I want a profit of 7.5%? Profit of 7.5%. Pause the video, solve for yourself. It is okay if you make mistakes. Mistakes are good here, right? Mistakes are encouraged here. And then we will see the solution for this. Okay, I hope most of you have solved this problem. Now let us deal with this. So this is the problem. Now he has given, he didn't give what was the value of SP or CP. So if many people prefer to solve this problem without thinking, this is the way, or this is the plain way or vanilla way to solve this problem. Assume cost price as 100k. Assume cost price as 100k. So the initial profit was 5%. Initial profit was 5%. So CP is equals to 100k. 5% profit on this will be 5k, right? So your selling price is 105k. Okay, 105k. Now in the second case, what has happened? This profit has increased to 12.5%. 12.5%. If you observe this approach, there is no logic that is being applied. I am just seeing the percentages and doing about them mechanically. Instead of thinking what does this value represent, I am just doing this in a mechanical way. So 12.5%, the CP remains the same, right? CP is equals to 100k. Now SP, what has SP become? SP has increased by 96 rupees. So this becomes 105k plus 96, right? When the SP is increased by 96 rupees, SP is increased by 96 rupees, it becomes the profit percentage is 12.5%. Now you see, what is the only variable here? Okay, so can I write profit percentage? Can I write profit percentage as profit percentage is equals to SP minus CP by CP into 100. Now putting this into the equation, my SP is 105k plus 96 minus 100k by 100k is equals to 12.5%. 12.5%. So if you calculate this, this becomes 5k plus 96, 5k plus 96 by 100k is equals to 12.5 by 100. What is the only variable present in this? If you solve for this equation, you are going to get the value of k. If you are going to solve for this equation, you are going to get the value of k. Once you substitute k here, you will get your CP. And what has he asked? He has asked profit for or the selling price for 7.5%. So once you find out the CP into 7.5%, okay, 100 plus 7.5%, it will give you your SP. This is rather a robotic and mechanical way of solving the problem. I see nothing. I see what are the, I see the percentages, and I just without thinking what is the information that they are presenting, I am blindly applying these two percentages and doing this mechanically. So what is the advantage? Advantage is the load on your brain will be less, but the time you take will be much more. Now let us deal this in a smart way. Okay. See, simply SP has been increased by 96 rupees. So what has this change brought about? This change has brought about profit from 5% to 12.5%. Profit from 5% to 12.5%. Now he is asking SP for 7.5%. He is asking selling price for 7.5%. If you just take a step back, don't you see something similar here? The difference between 5% and 12.5%, is it not 7.5%? The difference between 5% and 12%, is it not 7.5%? Yes. So this should give you some tingling in your brain that okay, somehow these are connected and I should act much more smartly. You see, what is this 5%? 5% of profit, what is it telling you? It is telling you that 5% of, there is a block called SP, okay, or there is a value called SP. 5% of this was the first case. This is profit 1. What is 12.5% telling you? 12.5% is telling you the second block of the same cost price, the second block of the same cost price, and the difference between these two blocks, difference between this block and this block is nothing but 96. Okay. So what is this telling you? It is actually telling you that the difference between what is 12.5% and 5%, 7.5% of what, that is important. Always, whenever you see a percentage, always be mindful of what reference is that the percentage associated with. 7.5% of CP, 7.5% of CP is 96 rupees. 7.5% of CP is 96 rupees. 7.5% of CP is 96 rupees. Now, what is he asking us? He is asking us SP for a profit of 7.5%. That means, if 100 is the cost price, he is asking us the value of 107.5. He is asking us the value of 107.5%. Okay. If 7.5%, if 7.5% is 96, 7.5% is 96. What is 107.5%? This is nothing but, all this process till now is your logical approach. Because I am explaining to you, I need to put this on a blackboard. But if you solve this, think about this logically, it is hardly an 5 or 6 seconds to result in this. Okay. So 7.5, so if you calculate this, 96 into 107 by 75, I am removing that dot here. So 25 goes, right? 25 threes. So 25 fours are 100, 75, 25 threes. 3 is 3 twos. So this is 32 into 43. So your CP is, sorry, your selling price that he has asked for is 32 into 43. In the examination, you need not even find out this calculation as a whole. Just focus on the unit digit. 3 into 2 is 6. 3 into 2 is 6, and you are multiplying 30 into 40. 30 into 40 is 1200. So pick a value which is greater than 1200, which is greater than 1200, and which ends with 6, which ends with 6. Okay. So this will be your SP. You see how easy the problem becomes once you are able to identify logic. Okay. So the formulaic approach, compare this with the formulaic approach. Okay. You need to find out the CP, you need to find out the K, okay, the K value, and then almost, if I say, all of you will agree that formulaic approach is one of the worst ways to solve profit and loss. Okay. So let us see one more. Are you ready? Okay. Now, the cost price of an article, increases by, the cost price of an article increases by 20%. The cost price of an article increases by 20%. Before the increase, the profit percentage was, before the increase in cost price, the profit percentage was 25%. Before the increase in the cost price, the profit percentage was 25%. What is the profit or loss percentage? What is the profit or loss percentage after the increase? What is the profit or loss percentage after the increase? What is the profit or loss percentage after the increase? Pause the video, solve for yourself, and then get back to the answer. Okay. I hope most of you have tried solving this. Now let us see. Okay. You can do this in a percentage in the form like way or the ratio approach. Since the values are 20% and 25%, these are not complicated percentages to deal with. So even in a even in your form like way, you will not find that much difficulty. Okay. So let us see the form like way first. Okay. So since we don't know the CP, let us assume CP as 100. Cost price is 100. So initial case, this is CP, SP and profit percentage. Okay. So initially before the increase, the profit percentage was 25%. So profit percentage is 25 per 100. So the SP will be 125. Okay. But after the increase, now what has happened to this? The cost price has increased by 20%. So this becomes 120. So this becomes 120. But the selling price has not increased. The selling price has not increased. So it will remain the same, 125. So what is the profit here? Selling price is 5 more than the cost price. So 5 by 120 into 100. So this goes for 50 by 12 percentage. 12 fours are 48. 0.2 20 1. Okay. So approximately, so 50 by 12 percentage, which will be 4.16, yeah, okay, or approximately 4.17%. It has looked easier because the percentages that we got were not complicated. Okay. Now if we think this through the ratio way, you see what is the CP here, or first find out the profit. Profit is 25%, initial value profit is 25%, that means 1 out of 4, CP and SP, 1 out of 4. That means if the cost price is 4, my selling price is 1 more than the cost price, so it becomes 5. Now the cost price has increased by 20%. Increased by 20%. What is the multiplication factor? Multiplication factor is 1 plus, always 1 plus the fraction. Okay, 1 plus the fraction. So 1 plus 20% is 1 by 5. So it becomes 6 by 5. So after the increase. This is initial value, this is the final value. Final is after the increase. Multiplication factor. So 4 becomes, increases by 20%. 20% is nothing but multiplication factor is 6 by 5. So this becomes 4 into 6 by 5 is to 5, right? Your SP has not changed. Your SP has not changed. So this becomes, I'm just writing this here. This is CP, this is SP. Initial value 4, 5. Increase of 20% is nothing but multiplication factor of, we have already seen this, 6 by 5. So 4 into 6 by 5 is to 5. Okay. So this 5 goes here, it becomes 24 is to 25. So what is the difference? Okay, 24 is your CP, 24 is your CP, 25 is your SP. So you are getting a profit of 1 on an account of 24 units, into 100%. This is 1 by 24 is nothing but 4.16%. In either way, you are going to get the same answer. I hope this is clear. No. Last one for the day. A beautiful concept if you are able to observe rather than doing it mechanically. If you are able to observe the problem, you will get a kick in solving this. Okay. So let's see. The cost price of an article, has increased by 240 rupees. The cost price of an article has increased by 240 rupees. The cost price of an article has increased by 240 rupees. Okay. The shopkeeper to maintain the same profit percentage, increases the selling price by 260 rupees. The shopkeeper to maintain the same profit percentage, increases his selling price by 260 rupees. Find the profit at which he sells the goods. Find the profit percentage. Find the profit percentage. Pause the video here and try to solve the problem, and then unpause and refer to my explanation. Okay. Please try. You will gain your knowledge or the ways of thinking only if you try and fail. I hope all of you have solved this. Now, before seeing the solution, let us see a small concept here. Okay. Suppose, let's take vanilla percentages here. This is my CP, this is my SP. Initially I was selling at 100 rupees with a profit of 10%. That means my SP is going to be 110. Now see the change. Okay, so profit is 10%, or profit percentage is 10%, profit is 10 rupees. Profit is 10 rupees. Observe, in case 1, if I increase my CP and SP, if I increase my CP and SP by same amount, I increase my CP and SP by same amount. I am increasing my CP by 20 rupees. I am doing the same here and increasing my SP by 20 rupees. So what will this become now? The new cost price has become 100 plus 20, 120, and the new selling price has become 110 plus 20, 130. The profit has remained how much? The profit has remained the same. Here the profit was 10 rupees only. Even in this case the profit is 10 rupees only. But what is the factor that is getting changed? What is the factor getting changed? The profit percentage. You see, this 10 rupees was on a base of 100 rupees. This 10 rupees was on a base of 100 rupees. But this, the profit of 10 rupees that you are earning is on a base of 120 rupees. So profit percent 120. So it will be 8.33%. You see what has happened? If you increase CP and SP by the same amount, the profit is going to remain the same. The profit is going to remain the same, but your profit percentage is going to decrease. Your profit percentage is going to decrease on the account of a higher sell cost price. On the account of a higher cost price. This 10 rupees was based on 100 rupees of cost price, but this 10 rupees profit is based on a cost price of 120. So this. Now let us see case 2. Case 2 is my profit percentage remains the same. Profit percentage remains the same. So what do I need to do now? Same. Let us take 100% and okay, I have increased by 20 rupees. The CP has been increased by 20 rupees. So it has become 120. It has become 120. I want to maintain my profit percentage as 10% only, So what should be my SP? Okay, so 10%, okay, 10% of 120 is 12. So 120 plus 12 is 132. So how much should I increase my SP? You see, from the initial case, the CP has increased by 20 rupees. But you see how much has your SP increased? Your SP has increased by how much? 132 minus 110, which is 22 rupees. So what do you get from this? If you want to maintain the same profit percentage, you need to increase your selling price more. There is an interesting way to see this problem. What is this? See here. First it was 100 rupees. My profit was 10%. So my SP was 110. Okay. Now I am adding a part of 20. I am adding another part of 20. Okay. Now to maintain the same profit percentage, now this whole part is my CP, right? So whatever my profit percentage applies on all of my CP. So you see, how do we get that 132? Okay. So profit of 10% on 100, 10% on 100, 10% on 100, profit on this part will yield me 110. With a 10% profit on this part has to be 110, and this is also the part of CP, right? To maintain the same profit percentage, I should also get 10% of this. I should also get 10% of this. So 10% of this is what? 10% of 20 is 2. Okay. So 110 plus 20 plus 2. So the profit on this is 22. This is nothing but 132. This is nothing but 132. This is, isn't this the same? Okay. So what is the idea that we get here? Always your SP has to be increased by an higher amount to maintain the same profit percentage. Your SP has to be increased by an higher amount. Now let's get back to the problem. I hope many of you will solve this at a faster rate now. So you see, your SP has been increased by the higher amount than CP. Now the easiest way to solve this problem is just think in those parts. Think in those parts. You see, 240 has been increased here. 240 has been increased here. It was X. Okay. Initial CP. This is SP. Initial CP and SP. X has some Y. Now the change of 240 has brought in a change of 260 here. The change of 240 has brought in a change of 260 here. You see, and where is this? What is the difference here? The difference is of 20. Where is this 20 coming on? Where is this 20 coming on? If you refer to my previous explanation, to maintain the same profit percentage, we not only should calculate the profit on initial part, we should also calculate the profit on the added part. It is the profit of the added part only that is making the difference here. You understand this? Otherwise, this was 20. This 20 would have been 20 here. But here it is 22. Why? Why it is 22? You are adding 20. You could have added 20 here. But the percentage decreases. But for the percentage to remain same, you had to add 22. Why you had to add 22? Because 20 was always there. This 2 is a profit on this 20. This 2 is a profit on this 20. So, applying the same case here, 240, 260. What is the difference? 20. This 20 was a profit on the added part. This 20 was a profit on the added part. So, what is the profit percentage? Because the same profit percentage is being maintained, right, in the initial case and even in the final case. So the profit percentage actually is 20 by 240, which will give you 1 by 12, which is nothing but 8.33%. 8.33%. This is the easiest way to solve the problem. But if you want to solve it mechanically, I hope most of you, everyone has understood this. But if you want to solve this mechanically or in the form-like approach, you could assume the values, okay, 100K. Now, in any such cases, to solve the problem much more easier, always, okay, take this as an observation. You should always focus on the part that is equal. The part that is equal. Okay. If you want to solve this mechanically without using any logic, okay, we find that in both cases, what is the same? The profit percentage is the same. The profit percentage is the same. So, assume initial CP by initial SP. Okay, this is the profit percentage, right? Sorry, the profit percentage is SP minus of CP by CP into 100%. Okay, so it has remained the same in both the cases. So now even after adding, what are the new values? CP plus 240, SP plus 260, SP plus 260, these are the new values. So what is the new profit percentage? It is SP plus 260 minus of CP plus 240 by CP plus 240. Okay, so into 100%, you can remove those. Okay, so SP minus CP by CP is equals to SP plus 260 minus CP plus 240 by CP plus 240. Okay, if you solve this whole equation, okay, if you solve this whole equation, you are going to get values of, or rather ratio of CP is to SP. You will not get the values. Why? Because there are two variables and there is one equation, but what you will get is, you will get a ratio CP is to SP. From this you can find out, okay, the profit percentage. From this you can find out the profit percentage. I hope, but this is rather circumambulatory. Okay, you need to go round and round to solve the problem. Okay, instead of that, if you apply a bit of logic there, like how we solved in the first way, that is the easiest way to solve the whole problem. Okay, so I hope with the examples and the theory that we have discussed, I have made an impression on your mind that solving profit and loss through as an extension of percentage is the easiest way. So in the next session on next Saturday at the same time 11 AM, we will see niche problems on profit and loss. For example, we will see 2 or 3 types in one session itself. In the next session, we are going to see ratio based problems on profit and loss. And second one, we will also see problems based upon free. That means if you buy some articles, you are going to get some articles free. What is the profit percentage, loss percentage, so on and so forth. Okay, so mostly we don't see such free problems based on the topic of free articles being discussed. That's why since we are discussing niche topics on of arithmetic, we'll see ratio based problems and free article based problems in the next session at the same time, Saturday at 11. I hope you have enjoyed the class as much as I have done teaching you. If any doubts, kindly comment. Okay, if not, we'll end the session here. Have a good day.
complete the